Hello and welcome to Cancelled Movie Report, the documentary podcast that talks about the best movies that Hollywood never made. My name is Michael Campbell, but you can call me Cambo. And now, sitting across from me is a familiar man. He's tall and lanky, he has a mop of hair on his head, and he's very funny. But it is not my regular co-host, Eden Porter. No, my guest is an internet comedian who has managed to amass millions of views online through his comedy sketches, all of which is very nice of him. But most importantly, he is my childhood next-door neighbor. Please welcome to the show, Marc Gallagher.
Thank you for having me, sir.
You're very welcome. No longer next-door neighbors. You had to drive a little while to get here.
A little while, yeah. Well, I was like, yeah, that'll take me 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I looked, oh my God. Because it's never a straight line, is it, in the hills?
And the thing is, we both live so far away from anything else as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. By choice.
Yeah. Also forced there by the housing market.
Exactly right. Yeah, you can only buy a shoebox in the country.
Yeah, and you'll be happy about it.
Or a shipping container, yeah.
So, yeah, you are a very successful online comedian. Very, very funny.
Thank you.
Millions of views online.
Yes.
But I've actually dragged you in here because I know that you're a big movie nerd as well.
I definitely am, yes.
So we're going to be talking about a project, actually our most requested project of this season.
Wow. No pressure for me, huh?
A huge pressure. Are you kidding me?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. You need to be on your A game.
Is this picking up sweat on this?
So this is officially the first chronological request we got through our form is by Sean Freeman of Brisbane in Australia, but it has been requested about 6 or 7 other times outside of that as well.
By Sean as well? Every single Sean. They're all Sean, the bots.
No, we're going to be talking about a movie written and directed, in quotation marks, by Joss Whedon.
Amazing, right.
Which is an adaptation of Wonder Woman.
Okay, yes.
And all I'm going to preface is that the internet fucking hates this script so much.
More than they hate Joss Whedon, or?
I think it's all tied.
Okay, yeah, all right.
It's all tied together. So if you are ready, we're going to get into Joss Whedon's cancelled Wonder Woman film. Let's get it. Before Gal Gadot soared onto the screens in 2017, Wonder Woman spent decades trapped in Hollywood limbo. One of the strongest, most dramatic near misses came in 2006. This story involves a Hollywood mega producer, a beloved, at the time, genre screenwriter, a slow implosion marked by creative differences, a controversial leaked script, and a version of Diana Prince that fans would ultimately be glad never made it to the big screen. This is the story of Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman. So we are at time of recording in 2025, and Joss Whedon has fallen out of favor.
Quite the fall from grace.
Quite the fall from grace. Prior to that, though, are you a fan of any of his works?
I think we all were, right?
Yeah.
Like we all grew up on Buffy. Well, I say we all. I'm quite old now. So potentially a lot of people listening to this have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
But,
they're like the silent talkies of our generation to them.
Yes.
It seems hokey, but if you guys were into this, I guess.
You filmed like that on film? What is this? Can't edit it? So I loved it. We all grew up on Buffy, Angel, things like that, and Firefly.
Yeah.
These were all pivotal shows back in the day. Yeah, I felt like he was flying quite high up with the Avengers, and then something happened.
Yeah, cheats on his wife and abuses a bunch of cast members, and suddenly he's the bad guy.
But apparently for years. Apparently like dating back to Buffy.
It's one of those things that has marred a lot of his work as well. So this was always seen as a big lost what if, similar to, I would say, George Miller's Justice League, where people look at all the people involved. It must have been so good.
Good.
And this actually leaked in 2017, this script.
Right, okay.
So before the downfall of Joss Whedon.
And when was it written?
2006.
2006, right.
And that I think that was the first point where people were like, oh, this is... Look, the reputation is not good. And But what we like to do, obviously, is like pressure test reputations.
Yes.
I would say proudly we shattered a lot of people's perception of George Miller's Justice League.
You did. You definitely did. Yeah.
So what we're going to investigate is how bad is this script? Okay. Is it as bad as people say?
Right.
Is it actually better than people give it credit for? Who knows?
I like bad movies, so I might not be a good judge on this one.
Here's a secret I'm going to let you and the listeners in on. The worse the movie, the better the episode. So that's actually good for us.
All right, cool.
We can't just have good movies all the time and go, yeah, that was generally good. I wish it was made.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, there have been a few that I've listened to. I'm like, I would love to just watch that movie.
Yeah. But you want to hear the train wrecks.
Yes,
That's what you
definitely.
want.
That's true. Yeah.
But I'm going to run you through the history of this production and how it all led up to the film going into pre-production, because there's like a weird history. And I talked about a mega producer.
All right.
And that mega producer is Joel Silver.
Is this the guy that... No, this isn't the guy that wants spiders and everything, is it?
No.
Okay, right.
So this is Joel Silver. He produced, he's coming off at this point, The Matrix.
Okay, so Flying High.
Flying High.
Okay, right,
Not the Australian remake of Aeroplane. Flying High. Yeah. He was just generally flying high, most likely on cocaine, but also on hit Hollywood movies. He's a really big action guy.
Right.
So we're talking Die Hard, we're talking Lethal Weapon, Roadhouse.
Okay,
and specifically, because I've known you for so long, I know he produced a movie that in your teenage years you loved.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the movie Swordfish.
Oh, yeah, I did love that film. I've watched it recently. Don't like it as much.
It's not good.
He falls down that hill for ages and doesn't die.
It's the most 2001 movie you'll ever watch in your life.
Anything that was vaguely Matrix back then, you just loved. And nowadays you look back on it and you're like, yeah, Resident Evil 1 is not crash hot, and I adored that film back in the day.
So this is in 2001. Yep. Joel Silver, he acquires the rights to a Wonder Woman film through Warner Brothers. So he is going to be the guy that now shepherds this all the way through. And over the next couple of years, they try to get a version. They have 5 different screenwriters come in to take a crack at it. And none of them managed to get a script.
Do we know any of that? Were there any of them notable?
They were. I actually made the point to be like, I won't list them because no one cares.
No, I've stung you.
But if you're watching it, here they are on the screen. This all goes up until, so for 2001, he gets the rights up until 2005 now. 5 different screenwriters, 1 a year, I guess.
That's crazy, yeah.
Until 2005, they hire Joss Whedon to take a crack at it. There's 2 important things around this. One, he's a famous script doctor.
Yes.
So well known around Hollywood for fixing people's scripts. So he was a script doctor on things like Speed, Toy Story, and the original X-Men movie.
Yes.
And I think the original X-Men movie is very telling because he's done superheroes. He's written X-Men comics. He's done punch-ups on the X-Men script. He's also coming off his first feature film directorial debut, which is Serenity.
That's right, yes.
So at this time, it actually makes a lot of sense to go to him. Script doctor, knows comics, has successfully made a feature film, and they love to do this thing like, you've done one, have the most money in the world to do a huge superhero movie. That, for some reason, is the trajectory of Hollywood.
Yeah, and give it to a dude as well.
Give it to especially in 2006. Especially a Wonder Woman film directed by a woman. They wouldn't dream of it in 2006.
No, never.
This is, I should say he signs on in March 2005, and he actually signs on to write and direct the script as well. So the full Avengers treatment, really.
Yeah, really.
Is what they were looking for, but they just didn't know that yet. Warner Brothers production president, Jeff Robinoff, said of Joss at the time that he is uniquely qualified to handle the Wonder Woman character.
Be interested to know what he's based that on.
Based on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
He's like handling of a tough, independent, action-oriented, female-led TV series. I understand.
It's adjacent.
Logic. It's adjacent. Whedon himself was very enthusiastic. He actually called Wonder Woman the most iconic female heroine of our time.
Yeah.
And he said that he was excited to explore the character beyond the iconic image. He said, in quote, "What I love most about icons is finding out what's behind them and exploring the price of their power."
Okay. I mean, that sounds great.
It all sounds good. At this point, he is pitching himself to do it. So he's saying all the right stuff.
He's saying all the right stuff. I want to hear what he's got to say currently.
But I will say, don't like saying this, to his credit.
Yes.
I think he did a little bit of this in the Avengers.
Okay.
That movie was all about what makes the Avengers tick, and what about them shouldn't be a team, and then ultimately
that's
what about
right.
them
Yeah,
should
the best scenes in that are just them sitting around talking.
Yeah. So I understand this quote and where he's coming from. Some other stuff he's done, I understand less.
Yes.
So he begins developing the film. An important distinction about this film compared to the one that we eventually got is this was set in modern day.
All right.
So
interesting.
The
so similar to the first Wonder Woman film we got.
Well, the first Wonder Woman...
Well, the first Snyderverse film we got, shall I say.
It's so complicated. The first one she appears in, yes.
Yeah.
First solo one is then a period film in the war.
Yeah, but it starts in modern day, doesn't it?
That's
just
true.
Like a museum owner or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
who knows?
But this was just a contemporary Wonder Woman. They weren't
right.
doing the period thing, which was kind of a popular fan thing that people had always wanted to see. So, actress Colby Smulders.
I have no idea who that is.
She is the star of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
The brunette one, the one that looks like Wonder Woman in that cast.
Yes. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
So she was on Whedon's radar, though never officially cast, but he was saying that is who I would ideally want as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So Whedon spent roughly 2 years developing this. So he signed on in 2005 and he was on board until 2007. The whole time he was trying to develop his Wonder Woman film. Now, we're about to get into the breakdown of the screenplay.
Yes.
I do want to give some credit because occasionally little old me gets a bit overwhelmed by having to break down so many films by myself.
I can imagine it.
And occasionally we have an awesome listener will reach out and actually give us a hand to break down the script. So I have to give full story credit to our amazing listener, Larissa Dabdoob.
Okay.
Amazing listener, Larissa
Yeah.
is a tongue twister. I've just discovered.
Yeah. I'm amazed you even got through that.
Peek behind the curtains. You won't have heard or seen this, but I did a few times. It took me a few times to say
Nailed
that.
it every time. Yeah.
No, Larissa has broken down this script for only edits I've made are structural. The rest is actually written by Larissa for me.
Amazing. So, thank you, Larissa.
Thank you so much. And I want people to know that when I messaged Larissa to do this and our cast, it came with an apology. To like, I'm sorry, you got this one.
You have to read this script. Spoilers. It's great. Yeah.
But with all that in mind, do you want to hear the story of Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman?
I mean, yes.
You can back out now if you want.
It'd be weird if I said no.
I'm waiting for the time, I guess.
What would part two of the podcast be?
Me being like, he just left.
Just Cambo in an empty chair.
I don't get it. He knew what we were going to do. He just left.
Just said no. This is just a tumbleweed in the chair.
All right, let's roll.
All right, let's do it.
We open on an old twin-engine prop plane flying through a storm, rattling in the rain and the lightning. There are boxes with cargo with red crosses inside. The plane is being piloted by Steve Trevor, who's in his 30s. He calls on the radio, but there's no answer, and his instrument starts spinning out of control. When he finally gets an answer, he hears that there may be a little weather somewhere that he's headed. But his communication is fried by the lightning, and it hits his propeller, and his plane begins to fall. The sky is clear, and he can see a lush island ahead. He glides towards a riverbed and he lands. He hits some trees, spinning out of control, and it almost goes into a deep ravine. He then starts to assess his injuries. He hears a thump on the roof. Something tugs at the door until it's pulled straight off, and he sees a silhouette of a girl. She steps into the plane, and she's described as elemental,
Okay.
with dark hair and a curvaceous body.
Right, so that's in the script.
But taut.
But taut. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. He's gone. Yeah, that's the most detailed thing so far.
Sorry, Larissa. She wears metal bracelets and she's barefoot. But she's also described as looking ancient Greek.
Okay.
Steve asks her to help with his leg, which is pinned down from the crash. She pulls a cargo box off him with one hand, seemingly a massive feat of strength.
Right, so yeah, working out.
She looks at him, and she actually says that his face looked quite horrible, indicating that it's like he's got facial hair or something. She doesn't understand why he looks so weird. But she realizes that he is actually a man. And she introduces herself as, any guesses?
Well, it's probably not Batman.
No, not Batman.
I'm
You're
guessing
close?
Diana Prince.
Diana Prince,
Okay,
that's right.
yeah.
It's the curvaceous but taut Diana Prince. They exit the plane, and Steve finds himself surrounded by spears pointing at him. 15 women are armored and helmeted in Greek style.
Okay.
Their armor is kind of like...
Amazonian.
Yeah, Amazonian. Yeah. They say Greek a lot, but yeah, Amazonian would be more fitting. They tie him up and they lead him away. Diana explains that he is on Themyscira, the home of the Amazonians. We now see that Steve is on trial in front of the Amazonians and their queen, Hippolyte.
Do you know where you are?
No. I got blown off course. I have no idea where I am, and even if I did, I'd be happy to forget.
Let him stand. If we helped you repair your glider and sent you on your way, you would never speak word of this place?
Scout's honor.
She whips something around him, a glowing rope that's looped in her hand.
This rope was woven at Delphi by the oracles, blessed by Athena herself. Within it, there can be no lies, no prevarication. You will speak true.
I did, except I wasn't a scout.
Were you sent here?
I was blown here by a storm nobody else could see.
Where were you headed?
We'll see. On the border of Albania, there's a camp of refugees there. My plane, my glider, has food and medical supplies on it that they need.
And if you left, you would never speak of this place.
Never.
Not for gold, not for power.
No.
To save your own life.
No.
You have friends, family. If they were to be killed or tortured, would you betray us then?
Oh yeah.
No man may set foot on this island. This is our first and most sacred law. The penalty for trespass is death.
This is absurd.
Laws mean very little to you, Diana.
Compared to life, less than little.
The law considers every life. Every woman on this island is under my protection. Thousands of lives to weigh against one.
Your math's a little off, Your Majesty. The refugee camp I was headed for, they've been cut off from the mainland for months by border wars. They're sick and they're starving. My people have been negotiating and scrounging and bribing to get one relief shipment in. One! You want to kill me? I can't stop you. And I don't really care. But my plane doesn't get where she's going. There'll be 3 dead for every life you think you're saving. What does your law say about that?
Your concern is for these refugees.
You want to rope me?
And if I told you, you must die, but I would ensure these supplies were delivered after?
I could trust you to do it?
My word as queen.
Deal.
No! This man is no warrior. An Amazon kills in battle, not in a bloodless negotiation.
Whether he means to be or not, this man is a threat to our existence.
This is not justice.
It is what is necessary, and it is my will. Make sure he is well housed for the night. Tend his arm. Leave us all. I would have words with my daughter.
If you are going to ask me to stand by while...
What is the first law?
No man shall set foot on this island.
What is the first law?
No man shall set foot on this island, lest the Amazon race should perish.
We came here to escape the tyranny of men. You wear the symbols of our subjugation, but you don't know what it was like when these were bound and we were powerless. The pain, the shame, the slaughter. No Amazon will ever be bound again. Steve Trevor may be an honest man, but he connects us to a world more brutish and mad than the one we fled. He cannot peacefully stay, and he cannot be allowed to leave. Do you not see?
I see only murder.
Your eyes are clouded.
They are clear, Mother. Maybe for the first time.
I envy the luxury of your clarity. I am Queen of Themyscira. My responsibilities weigh heavily on me. It's simpler for those who have never had any.
Absolutely roasted by our mother there.
Yeah. Bit of a rebel.
A little bit of a rebel.
Yeah.
This scene, to me, highlights one of the criticisms this script got is a lot of the initial setup of this film. Diana is not really a main character. It's Steve Trevor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well, it
you
starts
see-
with Steve.
It starts with
Yeah.
Steve, and you meet her through his point of view, and she is introduced in that like movie cliche way where it's like, oh my God, look
Yeah.
at her.
She's taught.
She's taught. Yeah, it's and even in that scene where a lot of the, I would say, plot elements are laid down of he needs to get to this place to get these supplies to these refugees. It's through him.
It's
And his actions are kicking everything in.
Yeah, that's that. I would say that's a good criticism. So
Yeah,
far.
yeah. Smarter people than us
Yeah.
have discovered that.
Yes.
And we just echo them.
Well, look, we can re-edit
Unless
it to
they're
make it-
wrong and then we did a different opinion that was better, to be clear.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right, and I think, but it's not a bad start taking that away. Until it gets to this kind of courtroom interrogation, which feels very like Phantom Menace to me. Like, I thought they were going to start discussing trade routes and
It
things
does
like that.
have a little bit of the Joss Whedon in that it's quippy but earnest.
Yes.
Which I would say are the two things that he marries normally pretty well in his dialogue.
That's true. Yeah.
You're like, everyone's quipping, but also they're like, but this is what I believe.
Yes, they're very much wear their heart on their
Yes,
sleeve.
yeah.
Yes.
But at this point, Steve Trevor is sentenced to death for stepping on Themyscira with the promise that they will deliver his supplies to where they're meant to be going. So the story continues with Diana speaking to Steve in his cell where he's being held. And she asks about his world, where Steve says that she wouldn't survive. She walks out and she's confronted by another Amazonian, and Diana says that she was meant to do more and she was meant to do something worthy, and that she's been praying to Athena for guidance. And Diana goes to a temple with a huge statue of Athena, and she kneels and she starts to pray to Athena, which is a big running theme in this, is that Wonder Woman is looking for something and always turning to the spirit of the old god Athena for guidance. So the next morning, Steve is about to be executed when Diana, dressed in a hooded robe, invokes the right to trial, much to her mother's anger. And under the robes, she throws off the robe, and they describe it this way in the script every time.
Okay.
Is the outfit.
Right. Okay.
They-
Well, we know what they're talking about.
Yes. and it's written in the way being like, you know what I'm
Wonder
saying.
Woman's
But
outfit.
it's always like italicized, like it's the outfit.
Yes, it's not a 2000 style superhero
No.
outfit. She's not in
It is
drenched black leather with a trench coat for some reason.
Brian Singer would be like, good.
Yes, this
I'm a
is
creep
great.
for a different reason.
Let's not talk about that.
So under the robe is the outfit with sword on her hip and the trial by combat against the strongest warrior. And if she wins, Steve will be set free to return to his world and she will go with him.
Interesting.
So Hippolyte stands to fight. She says, if you want to fight someone, you're going to fight me.
Right.
So immediately after they salute each other very respectfully, they charge at each other, and they're never retreating from this fight. Diana, she gets injured, but she's refusing to yield the battle.
Yep.
And Hippolyte eventually drops her sword and pulls Diana into an embrace. She's realized that no matter how long they fight, Diana is always going to leave the island.
Yes.
So she instead urges her to remember who she is if she's going to leave them.
Interesting.
which is a good way of getting a dramatic sequence with like zero plot consequence.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you have the big battle, but ultimately, like, no one has to die or anything. She can still.
And we knew you were going to leave anyway.
Yeah,
We've got this door made up for you. It says exit. Could have just used that years ago.
We didn't have to do the whole trial by
Yeah.
combat thing. You can leave anytime you want. We've
Yeah.
got daily ships out of here.
Yeah, it was cargo ships. Where did we get all this food from?
I wasn't here all of last week. So Diana and Steve leave on his plane that's been repaired by the Amazonians. Diana carries her sword and her outfit, but she now has her mother's rope, the lasso of truth.
Yes.
And Steve is able to communicate with someone in his team called Ben on the radio. And he finds out through a code that they're speaking that there's trouble where they're headed.
Okay. Yep.
Now, you know what? I was thinking of placing this somewhere, but I didn't know where. He's as good a place as any.
Right.
Do you know the interesting origin of the lasso of truth?
So I know that the guy who invented Wonder Woman has a bit of a sketchy history with 2 wives.
Yes, he did.
Bondage.
He was married to 2 women and he did a lot of bondage.
Yes.
He also
Right.
was one of the people instrumental in inventing the polygraph
Oh, yes.
lie detector.
That's right.
Which is why Wonder Woman has a device on her where people cannot lie to her.
Yes.
And then he married 2 women and was really
Yeah.
into bondage.
And lied to both of them.
But they're, like the polygraph detector and Wonder Woman's lasso of truth are actually inextricably linked
That's crazy.
as a weird item.
Yeah.
Because it is a weird thing for a superhero to have.
It is very odd, yeah. And I imagine when he pitched it to the people who made it, he's like, would it be possible if it was like a rope? No, this
She
needs-
really binds them up.
Yeah.
And they can't lie. And they're like, all of his fetishes at once. This is
What is
crazy.
going on with this guy? He's wearing a Wonder Woman outfit.
But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting thing of like, there is a very specific reason that she has a lasso of truth.
That's cool. I like that.
And
Good
she
tidbit.
now has it with her as
Yep.
well. So they land on this island that Steve was heading toward, and he instructs Diana to stay in the plane. As he goes out and on the runway, we meet his team. And the people we meet are Ben, who he was on the radio too. We also meet Sully, who is Dr. Moira Sullivan.
Okay.
So she's the medic of their team. Griffin is another part of the team.
I like it.
We also meet Major Grushnak.
That's
Now-
the hardest name to say out of all of them.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I think I said Groshnak.
Yep.
Looking at it now, it's Goshnak.
Goshnak. Okay,
So,
there you go.
Even though I was looking at it, it's that hard to pronounce that I
right.
didn't.
Yeah.
So Goshnak is offering protection to his group. He's a bit of a gangster around these parts. He's offering protection for the men and for the refugees, but we can sense that he's not a good guy.
Okay.
And because of the delay of Steve getting there, he demands that the entire shipment of supplies actually will now go to him.
Right.
So his men walk up with their guns as Diana is exiting the plane. This is Goshnak's men.
Okay.
And they actually shoot Diana in the chest.
Wow.
And she's confused by it. It's like, oh, that's weird.
Itches.
But she does begin to actually bleed from this.
okay.
And then she stumbles, falls to her knees, and she pulls the bullet out of her chest, and she calls everybody insane, and then she collapses, unconscious.
Okay, right. That's an
And
interesting
that's
reaction
the
to being
end of
shot.
Wonder Woman by Joss. No. But yeah, the first thing that happens in Man's World is she gets shot.
She got shot and collapses.
Not a bad metaphor for how corrupt Man's World is, I guess. It's
I guess so, yeah.
It's like the the fresh off the bus, like, wow, I'm gonna make some. Yeah, just shot straight away.
Yeah.
So it's now that we actually get a glimpse of Spearhead Technologies.
Okay.
And they're in a place called Gateway City, which is a city that's kind of been invented for this. It's ambiguous where exactly Gateway City is, I think intentionally.
Okay.
But we're at the Spearhead Technologies Corporation in Gateway City. It's a massive tower in the middle of downtown. And below, there's a subway station below this tower.
All right.
And it's in a poor area of the city. And there are tunnels. And in the tunnels, we meet Jeff. And he's a homeless man. And he's meeting with someone called Ginny Wells. And she's a reporter.
Okay, yeah.
And Jeff, he's leading Ginny into the chambers below the building.
Sus.
And underneath the chambers, there's a big mural of St. George stabbing a dragon. And she seems to kind of recognize this painting, this mural. It's something that she's seen before somewhere. But then we hear a slight roar, like the subway, but kind of louder than that. And through the holes in the metal beneath the floor of the subway, we see what looks like a monster with a mouthful of fire. And it's got this rippled body that's shooting underneath the floors where they are in the subway. And then suddenly someone else also appears, described as a white, deformed face with carved metal skull cap and a terrifying grin.
Okay.
And suddenly he's standing next to Ginny and he grabs her by the throat and he lifts her up. And this is Strife.
Strife, okay.
That's the character's name.
It's going to be a good guy, I'm assuming.
He's the actual hero.
Okay, all right.
Because Ginny, up to no good, reporting on what the technology company's doing.
Gosh.
So she sees Jeff is already kind of on the ground a few feet away. He knew that this was going to happen.
Yes.
And Strife picks her up and he drops her into the tunnel. And whatever was down there rattling around, we hear it kind of rip her apart.
Right. Okay.
So clearly they're getting rid of reporters trying to find out whatever's going on at Spearhead Technology.
Interesting. Yes.
The heroes of this
Bit suspicious.
story.
I imagine this goes on below every St. George bank as well.
That's true. In Australia, we have we actually have a big corporation with St. George as the titular
With a
hero.
dragon, you know.
And I haven't heard any bad reports against it. And now I'm realizing that's actually a bad thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
they're taking reporters down there.
Wait, last time there was a big portrait and a trap door. I asked for a loan. I saw some guy yelling, but then he disappeared. Yeah, all right. We see what's going on.
But yes. By the way, Strife is a character invented for the script, not a DC character. Joss Whedon invented Strife.
Yes.
Not in this scene, but he has the power to teleport, which is why he suddenly appeared next to Ginny.
Right.
Didn't sneak up on her. He teleports around.
Appears. Okay.
Yes. And
Classic Strife.
classic Strife.
Yeah,
and there is a lot in this because we're under Spearhead Technologies. A lot of machinery attached to people. So he had a metallic head.
Yeah.
There are slight indications that whatever the creature is slightly robotic below.
Okay.
It's breathing fire, but
Yeah.
it's a long, slithery monster underneath in the subways.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what's going on? Strife Technologies.
Strife.
Up to some.
Well,
up to
no,
some
so
stuff.
Strife.
No, not Strife Technologies.
Strife. Mark, please.
I'm already lost.
Strife is working for Spearhead Technologies.
Spearhead Technologies.
In Gateway City.
Yes. Yes.
So the next scene is actually on the runway near the base camp where Sully is tending to Diana's wounds after she's been shot. When suddenly she bursts awake and she storms straight out of the tent without talking to anyone. Everyone's a bit confused, so Steve suddenly gets up and he goes out after her.
What are you doing up?
I was unconscious. How long?
About 6 hours. You shouldn't be.
6 hours? Goddess.
Hey, stop. Your scar. You're healed?
Yes, after hours. It's degrading to be felled by a tiny piece of metal. I didn't know something could hurt that much.
Welcome to the world.
I have to get started.
Doing what?
The supplies, are they still on the plane?
They took him up to the camp. It's in the hills, about 2 miles up. What do you think you're gonna do?
Get them back.
Hey, no one goes near the plane. Get back.
Without breaking stride, Diana grabs the barrel of the rifle and throws the guard.
So what are you gonna do? Go up there and kill all those guys?
I will kill a warrior on a battlefield. Nobody who hides behind one of these weapons is a warrior.
She tosses the gun aside and hops into the plane. Steve goes to follow her, but notices that she's disrobing. He hovers just outside.
Yeah, they're called soldiers, and there's about 30 of them up there. They all got hundreds of little pieces of metal that hurt a lot, and grenades and a whole combo platter of things you've never heard of. So let's go to Plan B, in which you don't get yourself and the rest of us killed.
You won't be fighting.
That's not the point. You're gonna start a freaking firefight. These people are not. Diana, they shot you for talking.
He moves back, looking up at her. She's in the outfit.
I have no plan to talk.
Okay, so this is where we're getting the first like Diana Prince, Wonder Woman,
The big scene.
the big first battle in the modern world. I will say so far, I don't think this script is that bad.
No, it's
hitting all the beats you'd expect of a Wonder Woman film.
Yes, yeah. I think the main criticism is that she's kind of just met a guy and is willing to throw her entire life away. But
there's also the comedy beat where she's getting undressed and he's like, which is very 2000s kind of.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
There's intrigue.
Yeah.
They're setting up some interesting scenes.
Yeah, we'll get to other stuff.
I'm keen to see how it unravels.
But I would say so far the setup is pretty interesting.
It's not too bad.
Weird technology companies doing something
Yeah.
to the underneath Gateway City, which is, by the way, where they are at the moment. They're in Gateway City.
Right, yeah.
And there's something going on that Wonder Woman suspects.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to get the supplies up to this corrupt town.
Yeah.
She's going to go up there and she's going to take them.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think so far so okay.
So far,
I wouldn't say good.
I wouldn't say good, yeah. He's really weirdly okay with her being shot and just rising from the dead.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to bat an eyelid at that.
That's true. He's just like, okay, well, fair enough.
Okay, yeah. Now you're going to go fight people? Sure, whatever. Like
It's maybe I hear this complaint a lot from my partner, is you can go in and meet up with someone that you haven't seen for years and then come back with no detail whatsoever because you're just like, oh, they were good, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the mentality Steve Trevor's going through. Oh, I guess you're back from the dead. Yeah, cool. Whatever, man. Yeah, that's cool.
Let's just forget the small details.
Yeah.
As long as she's okay.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all I care about.
Which in a way is very sweet of it.
It is. He's a nice guy.
So they head up to Goshnak's camp, and she skillfully knocks out some of the guards outside of the building that they're in, and she distracts a few others, and all the rest are seen as asleep. But then suddenly we get this huge fight scene where Diana skillfully takes down every guard one by one until she faces Goshnak himself.
Right.
Goshnak shoots her, but she blocks it with her bracelets this time. Classic Wonder Woman. And she knocks him out after threatening and telling him to leave the refugees alone and let them have their supplies. So they recovered the supplies and they handed to the people at the camp. Diana sees the terrible conditions that they live in, and she's determined to help everyone there. She asks Ben, very awkwardly, about Steve's relationship with Sully. She's scoping out whether or not he's
seeing what's
maybe
going
single.
on. Yeah.
And says, no, him and Sully, just friends. And they decide that they're going to take her to the proper Gateway City. They're on the outskirts with the refugees. They're going to take her and show her Gateway City, show her Man's World. We now meet Arabella Callas, and she's in her office, meeting with the city councilman and her own executives. They're talking about zoning issues.
Exciting.
And this is, you mentioned the Phantom Menace before.
The trade routes.
This is not different.
The equivalent.
So following the meeting, she heads into her war room, as it's described. It's a very New York Stock Exchange bullpen or NASA control room kind of vibe. A lot of chaos and a lot of stuff going on. Imagine a lot of guys in white shirts and black ties yelling with papers in their hands.
Papers flying off desks.
Yeah. A lot of
really
phones ringing and being picked up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare for me to sound design, but you're welcome. You're probably hearing it right now. There's people that they seem to be tracking every conflict that's happening in the world. That is what they are tracking. They're not tracking the Stock Exchange. They're not tracking satellites. They're tracking
war exchange.
Yes. So they're tracking every conflict that's going on in the world and all the weapons that must be supplied by Spearhead, a corporation that we met earlier. People approach her with findings of conflict, war, even bad weather patterns and terrible news that's been going on. Someone hands her a piece of paper and she can't quite believe it. So she goes into a small shrine off the side of this, and she begins to pray to a statue of Ares.
Yes, I thought that was coming.
The god of war. Very common Wonder Woman enemy. Ares.
Yeah, well, it was the enemy of the first Snyderverse film. Yeah.
And you, correct me if I'm wrong, you want to restore the Snyderverse? Is that
I do,
right?
yeah. I was one of the bots he hired to restore his own universe.
You're a sentient Snyderbot come to life.
I am, yeah. That's why I love Snyder so much. The 4-hour Justice League cut.
So we see a statue of Ares, god of war, and we learn that Strife also appears in this shrine with her.
Okay.
So she discloses the information on the paper that there's a woman that took on a whole small army, but she also left none of them dead.
Fascinating.
And obviously this angers the statue of Ares. He loves war and death. So it's also here that we find out, by the way, that Ares is the uncle of Strife. So Strife is a demigod.
Interesting. I was wondering if he was related or perhaps Ares himself. Yeah.
Yes, no, not Ares himself, but Ares' nephew. They walk into a huge silo. It's a big open space where they're discussing the Chimera.
Okay.
And the Chimera is the creature in the subway tunnels.
I see.
It's a half machine and half, as they describe it, magic. And it looks like a cross between a lion's head at one end, but also like a massive rock drill kind of texture to it. And it can spew fire out of its mouth.
Okay. I feel like we're getting a lot of mixture of imagery.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point in the big St. George portrait if it wasn't just going to be just a straight up dragon?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, right.
But it's not the last you'll see. Next episode, you will see that mural again.
Okay, all right.
But they are working on the Chimera now. Okay. So there's maintenance machines all over this giant beast. We still haven't seen it fully, but we're seeing now that it has a lion's head.
Yes.
It's got machinery like drills. It can breathe fire. We're learning that they're creating something at Spearhead for Ares.
All right.
So Steve, Diana, and Griffin, they arrive in Gateway City. And Diana is overwhelmed by everything. She sees a boy being attacked by a dealer and she goes and saves him. And she uses her lasso with the dealer and finds out that he deals crack, guns, and sometimes women. And that the head of the operation is a man named Clean. K-L-E-N.
Okay.
Ironic name. So this is the classic, I guess, Wonder Woman coming into the world being overwhelmed by how
decadence
awful it is. And rampant crime and everyone's so awful to each other and all this kind of stuff. And we're intercutting between her discovering this and whatever Spearhead is up to. Because we're back in the war room and they're counting down to something. And we see that they're watching Diana on a screen entering an old building where she's urging people to get out, claiming that the building is about to collapse. She's saving all these people that they were expecting to die in this huge collapsing building, and they're bloody ticked off at her, saving all these people. So suddenly they decide they need to do something about it. Okay. So as she's saving people, as the building falls, Strife suddenly appears. And Strife fights Diana as she's holding a staircase from falling at the moment, still getting people out. He pulls out a sword and they start to spar. And upon seeing the bracelets, he realizes that she is an Amazonian. He seems to recognize what she is and where she came from. And the floor falls under them, and Strife wraps Diana in his cloak, transporting them. Wow. He wears a cloak, by the way.
Saves her.
He transports them to a snowy mountain range. Diana recognizes Strife from legends that she's heard, seeing that he's teleporting about, and she seems to have recognized it. She's heard of Strife before. And he recognizes her as Hippolyte's daughter.
Okay.
And they keep fighting, and as they're fighting, they're teleporting around. So it's kind of like a big action sequence where they're jumping between places. But finally, they end up back in the collapsing building. So really just a waste of budget.
Yeah. Maybe they just cut in footage from that movie. Is it Jump?
Yeah. Jumper.
Jumper, yes. Just like splice in there, just like CGI, Wonder Woman over the top.
It is setting up, I guess, that he can teleport with people, which will be a factor later on.
An ongoing feature.
Just one more.
Okay, one more thing.
But they arrive back into the building as it's still collapsing. And he teleports away, and she gets lots of people out, but then the building actually collapses on Diana. The whole thing comes down, which does actually pretty severely hurt her.
Yeah, a bullet kind of knocked her out for a while. A whole building's that's going to give her a long sleep.
She does survive,
all right,
but she is now back in Steve's bedroom, and he's actually tending to her wounds that she suffered from having a building collapse on her.
You should let me call Sully.
I'll heal.
Tell me about Strife.
He's well named. Of all the gods' children, he is the cruelest. His uncle, his master, is Ares.
Ares? God of war. As in... war. Like war?
If the gods are dead, why is strife here?
This is great. Cities infested with ancient Greeks. This strife probably rolled in on the same tide that brought you. Every action has a reaction.
But why Gateway? He called it his city.
There's an old saying. You want to see the world? Go to the Gateway and walk 10 blocks. This really is the international turf of the country. Anybody with power's got a base here.
And you brought me straight to it.
Under protest.
Do you think it's all coincidence, truly? The signs are all around us. You don't think I'm here for a reason?
I think you're dangerous. I think you mean well, but you're looking for trouble, and you're wildly adept at finding it. I think you got delusions of grandeur, and some actual grandeur, which is confusing. I don't like confusing. I hate the fact that I'm so attracted to you. Just touching you is overwhelming, and I keep hoping you'll turn around so I can see more of you naked.
He stops, confused. His jaw sets and he reaches down, pulling the lasso from under his butt. She tries to hide her smile.
Can we not leave this lying around? There's a reason men don't talk about their feelings. Their feelings are lame.
I think they're fascinating.
Men?
People. You were right about the city. Just one day here and I've already seen everything.
Not everything.
Such extraordinary achievements and such idiocy. And over the same look on people's faces.
How do we look?
Lost. Like somewhere inside you all know this isn't good enough. The selfishness, the inequity, the violence, it's beneath you. But you've been in it for so long you can't remember. The whole city, Steve. No one ever looks up.
Then let me guess. Is your mission...
Our mission.
I don't remember volunteering for anything.
You, of all people, know this is not how things should be. And Strife is proof of that. He has a mission, never doubt it. If I stop him...
And what if you can't?
Can't?
Right, your favorite word. What if you lose?
As long as there's life in me, I don't quit.
I didn't say quit. I said lose. Any idiot can win. Doesn't mean jack till you've done the other thing.
Well, I can't do either till I start fighting.
This guy pops up wherever he likes. How are you gonna find him?
I'll do the one thing he can't abide. Give people something to look up to.
Okay.
So it's a weirdly horny script sometimes.
It's getting a little much.
I do want to point out though.
Just watching her, like that's
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable just listening to that. So.
Fun fact about that
Right.
creepy joke.
Okay.
Joss Whedon reused that joke
Oh, right.
in his version of Justice League. In fact, here's a clip.
Oof. You're gorgeous and fierce and strong and I know we went to war with the Amazons, but that was before my time. And you know what? I don't want to die. Maybe I'm scared because I'm meant to.
I think that was beautiful.
I do not remember. I blocked that movie out of my mind, so probably for good reason.
When you got an absolute banger of a joke like that,
Yes.
you store it
Yeah.
away for use in a $200 million
True.
blockbuster.
Yeah. Just incredible human beings working on that film. Ezra Miller and Joss Whedon.
The other joke Joss Whedon uses sometimes is people falling on women's boobs.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Yeah,
so
so
like
that's a classic
like a
Whedon.
1980s anime. Yeah.
But yes, she knows something's going on, but they don't quite know what. Strife is clearly connected to something, and she is going to do good to give him, like to draw him out.
Has she like stolen Superman's thing as well? Like getting everyone to look up
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
sky? I'm like, is he going to come? Like, is it just like a
Spoiler
low-key
alert,
Superman?
No.
Oh, damn. All right. Oh, no.
Steve, Diana, Ben, Sully, and Griffin, the whole gang, they go to a club called Olympus.
Right.
Where Diana actually beats up the bouncers to get in. They're not on the list.
Okay.
But she beats them up.
If anyone deserves to be in Olympus, it's her, right?
It's her.
Yeah.
And there is an attempted... This is Larissa has explained an attempted comedy where Griffin actually replaces the bouncer on the door now that he's beaten up. And then he rejects two girls for being too skinny, and he tells them that they need to go off and eat something.
God. What is this?
Which is weird because we lived through the 2000s.
Yes.
And we know the media. And I don't think they thought there was such a thing as too skinny.
No.
Some of the people that were on television were just anorexically
they were
skinny.
just toothpicks.
That's not like a metaphor. Like they had anorexia.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah.
Anyway, that's a very funny joke.
Oh, I liked it. I
where
was
he
laughing
says,
the
go
whole
eat
time.
something, you're too skinny. So inside the club, we actually meet Clean. Diana walks up to him and his little posse, and she starts to give a monologue about how Clean can do better, and she can help him, and this kind of angers him. And doesn't seem to have much of an effect either. Her words seem to be lost on him.
Yes.
So back at the bar, Diana tells Steve that she suspects that Clean is not exactly who they're actually looking for. He doesn't seem to be the person actually driving anything. Now we get a scene where Diana sent a drink from an unknown person in a roped off VIP section. She drinks it, and then she goes to dance on her own. And the dance is sensual, ethereal, wickedly sexy, and everyone suddenly becomes entranced watching Diana dance in the middle of the dance floor.
This is a weird recurring thing. Like, he was saying that he could, like, just thinking about her, like, what is going on? Like, does she have this other new power in this movie? Like, what is going on here?
Wow, let me tell you.
Okay.
The dance gets fiercer. Everyone is just enraptured by how sexy she's dancing in this dance floor.
It's a really good dance.
Almost From Dusk Till Dawn-esque, where it's a showstopper sexy dance on this dance floor. And then she suddenly stops, and everyone around her is just watching her. So she suddenly then heads to an upstairs VIP section. And it's there she meets Bacchus.
Okay.
And he has been watching everything. And Diana actually recognizes him as Dionysus. He's the god of wine, vegetation, pleasures, frivolity, and madness. He's an ancient,
hedonistic kind of god.
He's an ancient god. He sent her the drink and he made her do a sexy dance.
Oh,
so really, you can't blame Joss Whedon for that.
No, well,
it was the villain doing
power
it.
of the gods.
And if he has to film it, what's he going to do?
And like take up most of the film with this one dance.
Yeah. So he explains that a lot of the gods are actually not dead. They've just begun living amongst the mortals as he has. And that the god exists still because the people still believe in them. And he does say that Athena, she was the god of wisdom. However, she's one of the only ones that is actually dead. So Diana can't meet her. But Ares, on the other hand, he tells her he's very much alive, as is Aphrodite, but she's out of her mind. So we're getting this idea that these gods exist in the world, in amongst people, and they're influencing.
Yes.
Ares is influencing war. He's influencing sexy dancers.
This is sounding a lot like that Neil Gaiman series.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that Neil Gaiman series. Also
a terrible
just
person.
A different reason. God, this is a cursed episode.
Yes.
So he explains that as he is the god of wine and revelry, Ares needs him around because he actually leads people to create conflict through alcohol consumption and sexual misdeviancy and all this kind of stuff. And he reveals that Spearhead is actually Ares' base, where they manufacture weapons but specialize in misery. And he is helping her because he actually likes Gateway City. But he points her towards Annabella Callis, who we met as the head of Spearhead. He says that he is vibing that there are feelings between Diana and Steve, and he knows these kind of things.
The very obvious feelings that have been expressed out loud.
All of those. He's also picked up on
He's
that.
a savant. Yeah.
So Diana and Steve, they enter the building at Spearhead. They get access codes by using the lasso of truth on a guard. I thought that was a fun use of that.
Yeah, I like it.
So Diana is now smartly dressed. She's in high heels, a little tight skirt, hair tied back, button-up shirt, and glasses. And she knocks an assistant out and takes a gun with a silencer from his desk and throws it away. They burst into Callus's office and Diana lassos her. Callus says that she works for Ares and plans to destroy Gateway City. She wants to start an era of fear and apathy in the world. All of a sudden, gunfire erupts behind them and Diana knocks Steve to the ground to avoid all the chaos. Diana knocks out a guard and grabs Callus with a rope to her throat and asks for a way out. Callus touches a painting in a tapestry and it rises to reveal a secret hidden door.
I love it. The classic hidden door.
It's only ever exists in like comic book villain lairs.
Of course, yeah. Or if someone is writing a script and they're like, I've actually written myself into a corner here, but in this corner is a secret passage.
Yeah. I've also written a painting in that corner, luckily, that could be removed. So this door is revealed, goes through to the war room, and they start hiding behind the consoles as they're being shot at by the guards as they're trying to escape. And then they run through the prayer chamber and they see the giant statue of Ares. And then they run all the way through into the silo. So basically they're running through the building that we got introduced to before. There's no railing in the silo. They're up high in this big giant structure. And there's an endless drop kind of all around them. So Steve, he holds on tight to Diana and she jumps off the edge, plummeting down the shaft. Like Gandalf. Like Gandalf, yeah. And they land now below them on the ground.
Right.
And things start to move, and there's a giant hole in the ground in front of them. And that hole starts to close. So they suddenly dive into that hole as well.
Right.
And they land on kind of a curving shaft that slides until it all levels out. And ahead of them is an endless dark tunnel, the same that we saw toward the start of this story. Endless darkness ahead of them. And they enter. Well, we've come to the end of part 1 of our report on the unmade Joss Whedon film Wonder Woman. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we would love it for you to subscribe, be it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen. That really does help us get discovered in the charts. It would also be terrific if you could leave us a 5-star rating, or most importantly of all, tell your friends. We are completely independent here at Cancelled Movie Report, so your support really does mean the world to us. And what do you think of the movie, and have you missed anything? We would love to hear from you. You can always get in touch with us via cancelledmovies@gmail.com or @cancelledmovies on all of the socials. And if there's a cancelled movie project you've always wanted to hear about, why not let us know? You can fill out a form in the episode description alerting us to a project, and we may just give it the Cancelled Movie Report treatment. That is how this episode got made. My name is Michael Campbell. I have hosted, edited, and produced this episode, and my guest was Marc Gallagher.
I did nothing except react to this episode.
Well, could I convince you to come back all the way back here?
Yes, you can.
Next week to hear how this story ends.
Of course. I'm dying to know what happens.
Great. I also made you sign that contract.
You
promising
did.
that you would.
Blood.
We also have to thank our amazing voice cast, which included Eshaana Sheth, Ben Wagner, and Dani Siller. Keep listening next week to find out how Wonder Woman will stop the evil Spearhead Corporation. But if you want a sneak peek, here's one for you.
You look at this and you see dragons. I see buildings coming down, and the people in those buildings die.
They're already dying. I'm trying to keep it from getting worse.
And it never occurred to you that you're the reason it's getting worse? You stand up and call yourself a hero? The uglies are gonna have to bring you down.
But until then, take care.